I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the land on which this podcast is recorded today. Also pay respects to the elders past and present, and extend that respect to any other Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who may be listening today. This is Melanated in Melbourne, a podcast designed to give an insightful look into the Australian lifestyle from the lens of two Black American besties. Welcome back, Mel Nation. I'm Ri'chard.
And I'm Nicole.
And this is Melanated in Melbourne.
Melanated in Melbourne.
So let's first, before we get started, let's talk about the hail. I have to talk about
What the hell?
What the hell?
That's maybe the episode title.
What the hell?
Starting off hot.
No,
Got knocked upside the head by some ice today.
Oh, wait, you were in the office, you probably didn't experience. Spring was springing, and it went from sunshine to rain to hail to sunshine to rain to hail again, because I went to grab dinner just now, and I'm like, oh, let me just...
Welcome to Melbourne.
Yeah, genuinely, the spring is springing, and I don't actually know what to do with it.
It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because warm. I want it. I want warm so bad. Warm would be nice, but she ain't here. They said 8 degrees outside. I almost cussed my Google Home out. I was like, bitch, what you mean 8 degrees?
And a week before, it was like sunny and 20 and we were like sweating, had t-shirts on. It's like, oh yeah, spring is here.
You never had sunny hell before?
Well, no, it was literally happening. Like I was like, well, all right then. That's because the little walkway to my house. I'm like, I saw the sun and the hail. I'm like, yeah, okay then, sure.
Oh my gosh, it's just like when the sky starts throwing things at you, you know you're in a bad spot.
Well, that's a lot of... Never mind. The sky can throw a lot of things, but I got hands too. I don't win, but I'm not going to give up on it.
Oh, yeah.
We do have a special guest for our viewers who are watching at home. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Hans.
Is it Hans or Dr. Hans? I'm just curious.
Oh, it's Dr. Hans now.
Yes. I'm just want to make sure that we get her on the proper titles, the proper due for our
That piece of paper has to do something.
And we worked hard for it. Like everyone, I don't want people. I have a master degree, but I don't want to be called master because connotations. But
So Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like put my foot down like for the picture. Oh my God, my brain just.
That's okay. Well, my title is Mother because I have a new Stanley bottle that I would like to announce. Her name is Stanastasia. So everyone say hello.
Hello, Anastasia.
Yes, as we know, Staniel Kaluuya, my son, was left on the airplane when I was in America, which was heartbreaking for me. I didn't know if I could open up my heart again.
In the arms
Thank
of an angel.
I still love you, Stanny! Stanny! AKA Stanny DeVito.
Nice.
AKA Nene Leaks. Yes, you will always be missed, but it was time for me to get back on my hydration game. So I adopted this beautiful baby girl, and we've been already making memories together.
I was so proud of you for like that. I know that was a loss. So people who know Nicole, this was a huge loss. Like,
oh, major.
There was a genuine farewell post.
Yes, there was.
Times that it was featured in just various posts, and like that was her
Yes.
baby for sure.
I did. I almost had a repass, but I can't cook, so we didn't do that. But she's going to be in my life. Make sure you show love to her when you see her on social media.
Stanastasia.
Grandmama, it's me, Stanastasia.
How long were you waiting for that particular moment? Was it just, you just had that in your pocket?
It had to happen. Speaking of which.
Stay hydrated. Speaking of which, actually I want to start talking about Halloween for multiple reasons.
Oh yeah. Halloween was so fun this year.
We had a blasty blast. You've probably seen that post on social media. We had Elphaba. Sorry, we had Glinda. Not Elphaba.
Not you gonna call me
Black.
Listen, actually, I got dressed up as Glinda for Halloween. First off, shout out to Rose Chung, Costume Hire in Collingwood, for helping your girl come through with a Halloween costume very last minute, because we were supposed to be the Teen Titans.
Yes, we were doing.
We were supposed to be the Teen Titans, and some of us were not, because the universe conspired against us.
Absolutely. But that's actually the second or third time Rose Chung saved your life, so
100%.
We're giving them some love.
100%. And anytime I need a costume or just a look that I want to do, and I want something avant-garde, I head on down to them, and the people there, they're just so wonderful and so helpful. And I kept getting Princess Peach all night. Some people are like, Princess, but I'm going to get upset about being called a princess. I'll be like, I don't think so. I don't think so. I wasn't too upset about it. But my favorite thing was walking up to all the alphabas in the club and being like, bitch, I know you see me.
The way in which it happened.
We went to school together. You don't remember me from shiz. It was my favorite part. So.
Nicole at any Halloween party is always going to be a sight to see. Last year you were doing Tina Turner, so you missed Halloween last year.
I did. I sang for a bunch of nice white people. I got to perform dressed as Tina Turner with a full band. And it was in Oakley or something like that.
It was somewhere like east.
It was out there. I don't know where it was.
Nicole was like, I'm gonna make it over. I'm like, when she told me the address, I'm like,
you're not making it.
She's not coming.
Yes, like one of my eyes was closing because I gave my all on stage because you couldn't tell me that I wasn't Tina. Like you couldn't tell me. I had the wig. I had the legs out. I sang the Nutbush. I got to see. The phenomenon in person. Because as we know, the Aussies love to dance to the Nutbush.
They do. They love the Nutbush. They put that song on the map, almost single-handedly.
They love it.
You don't know the Nutbush?
No, I don't care to.
Good.
You know what? I understand that. There are some people who are now saying no to...
I'm saying
no nut.
No Nutbush November.
No Nutbush November has just been... coming around. People have had enough of the nut. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
And what about the bush? Not enough love for the bush. Let's wake it up. Wake it up, sheeple.
Wake it up, bitch.
So this was fantastic. Nicole dressed up as Glinda, not Alphaba, and I was dressed up as Cyborg. And who made that fantabulous costume? Nicole, do you remember?
Dr. Hans.
So because Hans is here, we have to shout out the creative genius behind the entire costume. Dressing up as Cyborg was always one of my childhood dreams. Like, I want to do this. I've been doing black characters for Halloween for ages. And I think I messaged you around this time last year being like, hey, because I've seen, like, Hans has made a lot of different creations.
You got on it early.
Oh, I'm a planner. I am a planner because I don't want to be like, hey, can you help me? And it's like, when's the thing? Tomorrow. Like, I would kill anyone who tried to ask me for something the day before it was due. But it's like, I've seen you do Zuko. I've seen you do a half Glinda, half Alphaba fit. Like, you are a creative genius.
Nice. That's
and
so good.
it's just flawless. The amount of compliments I got the entire night was like off the charts.
So happy.
It was so good. I did a photo shoot that I will has been already circulated around because I knew taking anything into Halloween because they oversell everything.
Aww.
Things were going to.
I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't introduce Kiki. Kiki, Kira the cat. She's here. That's what we're looking down at. And she's saying you may hear her soft little meows.
Yeah, or she'll hop in her lap. She's actually been surprisingly good. She's been sleeping for most of the episodes, but she's here now. And you know what? She's a part of the show as well. So we'll very much have it in.
This my niece, so y'all better be nice to her.
Is she coming up?
Come on up. Yeah, you
Can think about it?
You. Come on. You want to sit here? You want to be in the episode? So, did you dress up for Halloween this year?
I did.
What did you do?
I used my face hugger costume.
Oh, that's right. What is it? The Alien.
Like from Xenomorph.
Great franchise. I feel like the Alien may not get as much love as she really, really, really should.
The original idea was to use it for Easter. Because of the eggs. I was like, everyone's gonna be a cute bunny.
Yes. And then
I'm not gonna do that. I want to be a face hugger handing out wet alien eggs for Easter.
There were two gays at Halloween, the authentic ones and the slutty ones.
I love that.
That opportunity didn't come around, so I saved it for Halloween instead.
Fantastic. That's so good.
Amazing. Yeah. But the reason I did the photo shoot is because I knew they always oversell everything. It was very densely packed. It was supposed to be at the bottom end, like we were promised, and they moved it to Inflation, which is a big venue.
But more space.
But I think Bottom End has more space because I checked the capacity because I need to know. Because they said, we got a venue upgrade. I'm like, oh my God, that's so great. Inflation holds 800 people, Bottom End holds 1,400 people. And that is the reason that my suit started coming apart the entire time because there were people brushing across. Like we were fighting for our lives this entire time. Throughout the night, as people start going home, I'm like, I bequest you my arm. Like, I give you my... Because
I have the helmet.
Nicole has the helmet.
I carry the helmet home in my bag.
And then at a certain point, I was like Zero Suit Samus in that bitch because I started out fully... So they said no guns.
I'm glad you kept the cannon.
They said no guns, and I'm like, it was meant to be. I did not want anything happening to the cannon because because like that felt like the hardest
Oh,
thing
you
to...
couldn't bring that in?
No, they said no weapons.
They said no weapons, which
That's
I was
barely a weapon.
I
I
know,
know.
but we didn't want to take our chances because
2 years before I had a cane for my Dr. Philia costume, it lit up. It was literally like a plastic dime. It was a pimp cane, and they said that's a weapon, and they took it. So they double texted, they emailed everybody, they posted on Instagram saying no weapons. I'm like, I'm not playing around with that.
Yeah.
Like, but I also knew that it would be hella dense, and the idea of like just doing this, trying to protect the.
Yeah.
So Nicole has the head, Luke has the body plate, but I was literally zero suit Samus at a certain point, and I was like, yeah, cool, great, everyone has all the stuff, and I'm like. I'm just in shorts. Like, I don't have a shirt on. I'm just vibing in this club solo. And I'm like, how am I going to get home? Like, because being in a shirtless in an Uber, you know you're losing stars. And I'm like, my Uber rating is actually 0.3 higher than Adriano's. And that is...
a 4 point...
Like a 1.3?
No.
Bitch. You know, that's actually pretty fun. I would love to know what my Uber rating is right now. I'm afraid to look.
I can't grab mine because it's the phone, but like a couple years ago, Adriano's was like 0.5 higher than mine. Okay. But Adriano will be loud as shit in the car. He'll like say, everyone in this car will always do whatever they want to do. And I'm just like, how do you have a better score than me? I sit there like, hello, sir, madam, I'm going to be going to this location.
Yeah, well, they're racist.
I won't complain about the heat. I won't complain about the music. I won't complain if there's a smell. I'll just sit in here minding my own business, being like from point A to point B. Yeah. But Adriano said people throwing up in his car, like people loud, talking about no filters whatsoever. And he had a better score than me. I'm like, not today, Satan. So me being shirtless in the club, I'm like, how am I going to do this? I found this shirt that I'm wearing right now at Halloween.
Oh,
and I put it on and it fit me like this. And I'm like, hello?
It looks like it's a part of your,
Right. And I'm
could have fooled me.
Thanks, Pink Floyd, whoever this was.
Pink Floyd.
Thank you for saving.
I think it's Pink.
It's just like Pink Floyd.
Pinky Floyd.
Allegedly.
We don't need no education. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall.
Amen.
The Gen Xers will get that one.
Now you have a better score?
Oh, now I have a better score, but because I kept my shirt on, it was like, wow, maybe you like Pink Floyd. I don't actually know if this guy likes Pink Floyd.
Racism.
I did solve racism. Protecting my nipples solved racism.
Yeah.
And I stand on that. I put that on my resume.
No, fair enough. He's like, you want to get picked up and you want to make it home, so.
Yes, a black man shirtless at 7 a.m. after a party, probably getting canceled on, so.
Yeah.
Thank you to the shirt God donations. Thank you to Hans for the gorgeous costume. And thank you, Paula Queen, for restoring a little bit of my faith in you. Because the last couple of years...
100%.
They were mid. It was an average.
It wasn't good. It's just like, yes, this year it was pretty packed. Like, it was pretty full. But the fact that we had the chance to move between some floors, it made it feel a little bit more spread out. Because the last couple of years it's been at Doof.
Yeah, it's been at Chasers and
at Chasers, and it is just like, man, talk about like in a sardine can kind of thing. But this one, it was like really nice. And then shout out to DJ Fresh Princess as always, bringing the hits. Like I was dancing so much. I haven't had a fun night out like that in such a long time. I left at like 5:30. Oh, yeah, I was shocked.
Nicole was outside. And
bamboozled. I didn't know I was gonna be out that late.
Famously Cinderella. So it's like Nicole's like, that's Cinderella story. Like you got her until midnight. Like you could just feel the text going out to her part and being like, I'm ready
Period.
to get picked up.
Listen.
But because it was Halloween, she's like ready to unwind from all the ridiculous acting and auditions and just everything you've been doing. And I'm like, if Nicole's outside, I'm outside. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah,
People are like, when are you going home? And I'm like, when Nicole does.
So late. And I just love that last room that we were in. It felt like we were down in like a basement.
It was a basement. That was the basement.
We were down in the basement. It was just like shirtless. Like if there's shirtless heaven, this was like shirtless hell, where it was just like dark and the music was like grungy, and I don't know who the diva was, but you did your thing, because every song I was like, oh! Oh,
and scream, and actually screaming. Like Nicole was actually screaming.
I was, and it was just like, it was just so fun, and just like having a dance, and just, it reminded me of Halloweens of yore. So I had a wonderful, wonderful time. Thank you, Holla Queen. What would you rate it? What would you rate it?
Out of 10 or out of the other Holla Queens?
Out of the other Holla Queens.
It's easily second.
Yeah.
The very first Holla Queen was really hard to beat because it was at the bottom end. And the bottom end was actually one of the first venues I ever worked at. I was a glassy. And I found $100 on the dance floor.
Oh my God, $100!
Yeah, no, so that one and then this one. And like I would say they're actually quite close because again, it was different crew, but it was still a fantastic vibe. I think we're just different people from that 3 years ago.
Oh man.
That happened.
Yeah.
So What about you? How do you rank them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I may have to put this Hollow Queen first, just for the fact that I got in with no ID, which was very, very scary.
Yeah.
Very scary, because I forgot my ID because I had my Glinda bag with me, and which had a million other things in it. And I was just like, of course, I didn't bring my ID. And then I got a dressing down by the bouncer, and I was like, I know, I'm so sorry, but can you just let me in? So I was able to get in. The second part was I was able to get a Uber right away, because that time at the bottom end for Halloween, it was like a circus theme. And so when we went downstairs to rally our Ubers, it was like this really dystopian,
I love that.
Yeah.
which was like very, very creepy.
At the end of the night as well, you're just like...
At the end of the night, and then every person that was there, I don't know what the conspiracy was, every time somebody requested an Uber, the Uber was on the way, and then it would just cancel.
Yep.
And this kept happening to everyone, and people were just like, I don't understand.
We had to walk like a block and a half away from it.
Yes, you had to walk, and then you're just waiting for your car. Your car is getting canceled. You hear
Trauma,
and I was like, release me. I was like, this is my purgatory. Get me out of here. So for that alone, yes, I'm gonna have to give this year the crown, because I was able to get home.
Yeah, we'll shout out Thori, because I was actually the manager. The guy who let you in was the manager.
Oh yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
He's a friend of the crew, and I was like standing there, because like, oh, I really can't do this now. Like me and my partner was standing on the side. I was doing puppy. I was like,
yeah. No, yes. Was their name Glory?
Thori.
Thori. I'm Thori. That I forgot my ID.
Goodbye.
Thali.
Never been let in again.
We just did this nice shout out, and you're like, and I'm totally Epitha.
And I'm Thali, 2004. And I apologize that I did not bring my ID with me. And they were like, you would never get into the casino like this. And I was like, you're so right.
I'm not going to the casino.
But I was like, amen, preach, diva. But I was like...
It's like, you're so right, and you should say it.
I don't have it. I ain't got it. I'm gonna have a little tea break too.
I know. I found
have a tea.
Anytime I have that, it feels like I'm on a talk show. I like to like hold my mug, because when we're mic'd up, we're just like, and then I killed my husband because he made my tea wrong.
Oh,
But
he had it coming. He had it. Yeah. I have a Charlie Murphy, Charizard mug.
Please, goodbye.
I have a Charlie XCX mug.
Bumping that. Please stop that. But no, as we were saying earlier, even though Hans is a creative genius, today's episode is actually going to be centered around HIV and AIDS, because around the time they're releasing this episode, it is World AIDS Day.
Yes.
So before we get into that, we have our expert, Dr. Hans, to get it right. Say it.
Period. Because some of y'all be getting the information from the wrong places.
Yeah, your cousin's TikTok is not going to really save you.
Period.
I can tell you that right now. But before we hop into the topic of everything, would you like to give us your origin story? Like, born in Melbourne, moved here, et cetera, and what piqued your interest in this topic specifically?
Yes.
I wasn't born in Melbourne, but I moved here when I was 7.
From where?
Singapore. I was always really into science. I got into biology.
Love it.
Studied immunology and genetics. I initially started working on dengue and malaria.
Oh, dengue fever. Yeah.
With mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And that brought me to the Burnett Institute, where I did my PhD at, and they were doing HIV research. And I'm like, oh, that's relevant.
Yeah,
and also really interesting. I loved studying infectious diseases.
Nice.
And yeah, that was something that was relevant to the community as well. And
Absolutely.
got in. And so I did my honours there, and then loved the project and stayed on to my PhD. And here I am.
How long did that studying take? Because again, being a doctor in any field, like any advanced degrees, is just like, you put your brain in a bowl and then spin it around for 6 to 8 years. How long did it take you?
It took me 4 years.
Okay.
It was a bit longer than I expected because COVID. Well, actually, before COVID, the first year I started, I got cancer.
Wait.
So that delayed
The
things a
star
bit.
sign? Or like the actual?
No, I'm good now.
Intermission, everything's go down.
Yeah, so that delayed things a little bit. And the second or third year was COVID, or however long COVID went on for. Yeah, but about 4 years.
Wow, you've lived a life.
Too many. I'm tired.
Cheers to that.
Yes,
This is still tea, but I wish it wasn't.
Yeah.
But no, like it's really important to talk about this conversation because I feel there's a lot of stigma, and there's also a lot of people who kind of think it's over because things like PEP and DoxyPEP exist.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. But at the same time, people aren't actually educating themselves on the statistics and how they can protect themselves, and just talking about general perceptions. Because again, we grew up in America, and our perception of HIV and AIDS would be different than what it would happen on this side of the world.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily something that I've heard discussed here in Australia a whole lot. As a matter of fact, I've spoken to people about it, and they were just like, oh, that was an America problem. That wasn't an issue here. And I kept feeling like I was like,
That's definitely,
So,
yeah. And it works out really well
that's all
because when we had our harm reduction episode, that was one of the topics that he talked about because harm reduction started as a part of the Victorian Legal AIDS Council that turned into Thorn Harbor, and then they kind of split off at some point. But yeah, it was very interesting in that episode, and really good to kind of shed a bit more light on the process here, because I know, at least for us, it was very much like it was a white person's disease and it was a gay person's disease until a lot of people who were down low having sex and contracting it to women, and then it started attacking the black community specifically. And the perception of that and coming out around that time would have been particularly hard as well. Oh, that's a cat coming in.
it's Kiki again. Yeah.
I feel like there's still a perception that it's a gay disease or an American thing, but it's an everyone problem. It doesn't just affect gay people, and it's not over yet, even in the era of PrEP, which I'll get into later. So I've got just some stats here.
Oh, yes,
Love
please.
it.
We love stuff.
In 2024, there are 40.8 million people living with HIV. So this is not something that has disappeared.
Yeah.
Is this globally or
Yeah,
is this locally? Globally.
And it's not just people who have already had HIV. We still have new infections. There are 1.3 million new infections and 630,000 AIDS-related deaths in 2024.
Oh gosh, wow.
This is not something that we've solved either. We're on a trend to reduce new infections, reduce those AIDS-related illnesses, but it's still a problem. It's not something of the 90s or
Yeah.
early 2000s. And there have been 44 million deaths since the start of the pandemic.
44 million deaths since the start of the pandemic. That's wild. It's unfathomable.
And the reason why I say it's not just a gay disease, this affects different populations as well. And I think it's good to understand that it does affect men who have sex with men. We don't use the term gay in research,
Gotcha.
so it encompasses more people.
Yeah.
It's not just a disease that affects men who have sex with men. They are a vulnerable population.
Yeah.
But HIV affects 1.4 million children. And 53% of people with HIV are women and girls.
Yeah, I believe that.
This is not just a gay man's disease, and I think thinking about it in that way neglects that huge population of everyone that's affected by it.
100%. I think there was so much misinformation back in the day about HIV, and the American government was just like,
Very much ignoring it, yeah.
just ignored it. Fuck Ronald Reagan for that exact reason, forever and always. Also, with that, what was going on around the world, from what I heard, is that men were contracting HIV and AIDS, and they thought that having sex with a virgin would cure it.
I remember hearing that as well, yep.
And because they thought that that's the thing that would purify them, when in actuality, they were just now infecting a new host. And a lot of the time, it was like a younger girl.
And a huge problem as well. So sub-Saharan Africa especially is very impacted by HIV and AIDS. And something that really devastated that area as well was the Catholic Church going in and saying that condoms actually increase HIV and
Religious, religious influence. Yeah, it's just unbelievable how it was mishandled. Looking back, and now we're only like 5 years out from a semi-recent pandemic, we can see how getting the wrong information can really mess things up. Believe science, kids.
Yeah.
Globally, the stats were on a pretty good trajectory with aims to reduce new infections, get as many people as possible on treatments. But with the Trump administration,
Oh boy.
I don't know if you saw any of the headlines where they put a funding freeze on something called PEPFAR.
No.
So this is the US President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. So it was a global AIDS relief fund
Gotcha.
that helped get treatment for people, reduce HIV infection,
Yeah.
give access to drugs, that sort of thing. And that funding freeze is projected to have increased HIV infections by tens of thousands and will possibly lead to tens of thousands of deaths. in the years to come. So we don't know what the impact of it is yet.
Yeah.
Because it happened earlier this year. But yeah, it's an ongoing fight. It's not something that you can just stop thinking about because it doesn't just go away when you stop thinking
Correct.
about it.
It's just like COVID. People keep talking about how we're in this post-COVID world and we're like, oh yeah, remember COVID? And it's like, she's still here.
That's still happening.
Yeah, just like HIV is still very much here.
And even though we have very good antiretroviral drugs like PrEP to prevent HIV infections, the ongoing problem is still that rich countries have access to these drugs. But the people who need it most can't afford these drugs.
Vulnerable,
And, that's not because the drugs are expensive. It's an access issue, it's a distribution issue, it's an equity issue.
Totally.
And we have the funds, we have the capability of treating this infection, but even now in 2025, you have millions of people who can't get good access. Yeah. Or even people who can get access to it sometimes pay thousands and thousands of dollars for it.
Unreal. Unbelievable.
Capitalism ruining things again.
Yeah, and when you think of the government cutting funding to something that would help
It's literally
so many
life-saving.
people, like that's what I want my tax dollars to go towards. Like, we're gonna be paying taxes for the rest of our lives. I want my money going to making the world a better place and helping people, not into some guy's pocket. But people have this fear-based mindset. And they're just like, well, things are so costly because the government keeps taxing us. So, like, we'll just get rid of those programs. It's like, no, that's what your tax dollars are supposed to go
Because they think it
towards.
will never affect them.
I remember growing up in the 90s. Ooh, we may have to take that out, but that's okay. But growing up back in the day, I was grateful to be in schools that were at least trying to give us some sort of information about HIV and AIDS. But ultimately, it was a scare tactic. Like, this is a risk that could...
If you have sex, you will die.
Yeah, if you have sex, you will die. And then with HIV and AIDS, I think it was kind of categorized as something else. But then at the same time, I remember there being a news story about a young girl, like very young girl, going to the dentist. There was a cross-contamination thing, and this young girl ended up being infected with HIV. And it was a big news story because people just had it in their minds that this is a bad person's disease. Like, this is something that, well, I won't get it because I don't engage in that lifestyle. And it's just like, it could happen to
It can happen to anyone.
anybody. It can happen to anyone. And people aren't bad for having it, which is another thing. Because I think nowadays, perhaps somebody's HIV status is something that's a bit more open and
There's
spoken
still
about.
so much stigma about it.
But there's still a lot of stigma attached to it.
Maybe we can start by discussing what's the difference between HIV and AIDS.
Love to.
that'd be
Let's
wonderful.
do it.
Because I feel like the terms are used interchangeably a lot when people speak about it, but they refer to quite different things. So HIV is the virus itself, so human immunodeficiency virus, whereas AIDS is the condition you get, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So that's when you have had HIV, it has ravaged your immune system. Your immune system is no longer able to conduct its normal function, and that's when you acquire an immunodeficiency. So when your immune system no longer works, that's when you have AIDS. That's the brief way of describing it.
Yeah.
So what happens is when you're exposed to HIV, the virion enters your body, and the primary cell it infects is something called a CD4 T cell, or a helper T cell. And what that does is it coordinates all the other functions of your immune system. It orchestrates your immune response. So over time, what happens is you have chronic HIV infection, your immune system's trying to fight it off, but your CD4 helper T cell population slowly declines over the years. Your immune system is still functional during this time, and as your body's trying to fight it off, sometimes that's when people get cold or flu-like symptoms after being exposed to HIV. But people will often have no symptoms for many years, and they don't know unless you get tested. But during this time, your helper T cell population goes down and down and down, and when it reaches a low enough level, your immune system can no longer function.
Oh my goodness.
And that's when you get what we call AIDS-defining illnesses. So illnesses that people don't normally get unless your immune system is shot.
Weak. Very weak.
And that's when you develop AIDS.
Yeah.
So AIDS is the condition you develop with untreated HIV infection. HIV is the virus. So that's the difference.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah.
And an important difference as well, just because you have HIV, it doesn't mean you have AIDS.
Correct.
Not the same.
Yeah.
And what used to be a death sentence in the 90s when you develop AIDS, we now have very effective antiretrovirals or anti-HIV drugs. So antiretrovirals because it's anti and HIV is a type of retrovirus.
Gotcha.
So you might also see it referred to as ART or ART. So now we have very effective antiretrovirals that can control the virus replication in people.
Okay.
So the virus is still there, but it...
Undetectable? Is
Yep.
that when it becomes
Yep.
undetectable?
So this is a combination of different drugs that stop HIV replication at different steps.
Wow, that's incredible.
So initially, with the first generation or second generation of drugs, it would stop it at one step maybe.
Yeah.
And because HIV mutates so quickly...
Of course, like a virus does.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a messy bitch.
Yes, it does. It's just like, actually, I'm going to get a little stronger over here. And then it's like, then once it gets outside of the medication.
Yeah. So if you just have one drug that blocks it at one step, it's very easy for the virus to mutate that one protein and get around the drug.
Gotcha.
So modern treatments are a combination of 3 different drugs that block it at different stages of the replication cycle. And that makes it basically impossible for the virus to mutate around it.
Yes.
Because it has to mutate around 3 very specific things at the same time.
Gotcha.
And these antiretrovirals, first of all, it stops people from developing AIDS. So HIV is no longer a death sentence.
Yes.
And secondly, it gets them to something we call undetectable.
Yes.
So that's when we can no longer detect the viral RNA or the virus's genetic material circulating in the blood. We call it undetectable, although with modern technologies, we can still detect some copies.
Yeah.
But it's at such low levels that it's not an issue.
What a progression, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in such a short amount of time. I mean, it would have been shorter if it wasn't for Reagan and all the delays
Once
and
again.
Stigma.
You know, I won't cuss again. I feel like I've used all my coins for it. No, I mean that. No, I mean that.
But a recent, I say recent, maybe recent in this context, development is that undetectable equals untransmissible.
Cool.
This was a huge landmark study where you might have seen some of the marketing material around U equals U.
Yep.
And it means undetectable equals untransmissible. So if someone who has HIV gets to an undetectable viral load, they can not transmit the virus to anyone.
Beautiful.
So this was a study with sero-discordant couples. So one person has HIV, the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
And there's no transmission of HIV between them. So you cannot get HIV from someone who is undetectable.
You
And I
cannot
feel like-
get HIV from someone who is undetectable. Write it down.
Yeah.
And there's been such a huge push to get this message out there, but I feel like it's still not talked about enough. And there's still some remaining stigma around the fear of getting HIV from someone who has HIV. But it's actually safer if you know your partner's status and get undetectable rather than having sex with someone who hasn't gotten tested, who doesn't know their status, who you don't know is undetectable.
Yeah.
See, and that's why if just believe science, go get tested, find out what your status is, you're able to get on these medications, and then you can have a positive path. What ends up hurting us is ignorance. Because people don't want to be labeled as having this this virus that could actually be treatable. You could actually get to a point where you're undetectable and not transmitting. It's not a radio, but
Untransmissible.
you know what I mean. But you're not passing it on to somebody else because you know your status. You're taking your medication. Believe science.
Yeah.
Believe
People think ignorance is
science.
bliss, except it's literally taking lives. So
Yes.
And the research shows that the earlier you start treatment, the better it is for your immune system as well.
100%. Why would you wait till your T cells are like, hey, we need backup in here?
The drug is still pretty amazing. Even if you do develop AIDS, you can still get on treatment and get back to relatively normal immune function. And people who are on treatment live basically normal lives, lifespan-wise.
I think for, at least in the Black community, the first person that were like, oh shit, was when Magic got it.
Totally. With Magic Johnson, a famed Los Angeles Lakers point guard, I believe.
I was going to say Clippers. I knew he was an LA team, but it's like basketball.
Basketball man. Yeah. That was a big wake-up call because it was just, again, it was seen as something that was like poor,
Yeah.
lower socioeconomic status.
And for
it was
many
seen as
affected
something,
men.
it was seen as something gay, and it was seen as something, I think, at that point in time as white. Because this was pretty early 90s when this happened.
And so he used his star power, his fame, to like actually bring a bit of knowledge to the Black community in particular.
Yeah,
because
for
again,
sure.
a lot of those things were happening in silos at least. It's like a lot of people be down low and having sex with men and not saying anything because, oh, I'm not allowed to be. It's not okay if I'm gay. And then they're just going about their lives. There's nothing happening.
Yeah.
And that's just like running rampant through our community because of misinformation and ignorance, honestly.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I agree. It's just like it brought it to like this bigger level, and it felt like a larger conversation ended up happening that wasn't just like in the hushed tones of adulthood. He's a sports star, but you know, sometimes with kids you view it as like a superhero.
Yeah, we do put them on a pedestal.
We
so
put
you're
him on a
absolutely
pedestal. Yeah, so it kind of feels like maybe that's when the conversation opened up a little bit more. I would be happy to be wrong about that.
I would say it definitely did happen a bit more. When I came out in 2007, it was to a mixed reaction. And when it went badly, they would say, you're going to get AIDS and die. They would say all these things like, oh, you'd be careful. I don't want you drinking the same cups from me. The amount of conversations that you had, that people acted like spit was going to be causing all these things.
Yes,
and they would just be
spit.
like,
We thought HIV was passed along through spit.
No.
That's what we were told. That's what we were told as kids. And then I also remember hearing that maybe in the 80s or so, somebody in Gen X can back me up with this, but you do a thing where you were blood brothers if you like,
Yes.
like you cut yourself and then
yeah, you're like,
About that, then
yes,
yeah, you
but that
literally, you should.
yes, but that was one of the things that was actually, you know, proper information. They were told like, no, because if their blood gets into your bloodstream, the virus is transmissible that way. So that was at least a correct piece of information that we got. But yeah, I remember thinking AIDS was on the light switches. I thought it was like something if you touch it, like you ended up getting it that way. Because it was just like so much fear around it.
Actually, to build on that, something that's actually quite interesting is that HIV is a surprisingly fragile virus.
Interesting.
It doesn't live outside the body for very long.
Gotcha.
So even if there was a contaminated surface, it's very unlikely that you'll get HIV from just like a light switch or something.
Yeah.
So HIV, because it's so fragile, it needs to be basically direct contact into your blood or a mucous membrane. So either from sex or even into your eyes or like a sore in your mouth or something. It needs to be
like
pretty
open,
direct.
yeah,
like an open wound.
An open wound.
And even then, the transmission rate isn't as high as some other viruses.
Interesting.
But an important thing to note is, even if there wasn't contaminated surface, if I don't have a cut on my hand, I wouldn't be too worried. It's not. It's not like Ebola or something.
So you mentioned the high infection rate of children. Was that through breast milk or was that passed
it's
on?
not. I wouldn't say it's a high infection rate in children. It was 1.4 million children globally.
Okay.
So it's a disease that still affects children. I don't have the numbers to back it up, but I think it's either children born with HIV, so that it can be passed from mother to child.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the main routes, especially undiagnosed mothers. But if a mother does have HIV, you can prevent that transmission to the child by getting on medication.
Wonderful.
And there are ways to mitigate that as well. So.
Yeah, and I wonder if there's a connection through the rise of intravenous drugs as well.
It's one way that HIV spreads. I don't think it's the main driver. It's also a driver of other things like hepatitis or other blood-borne diseases. So HIV is not the only thing out there to worry about.
Please stay, be careful. There's, I guess, a phenomenon that I never fully understood. Like in the States, I heard about this, but I actually only interact with these people in Australia, which I found was very wild. Bug chasers.
Yes, that is unfortunately a thing.
Oh no, I'm gonna need to know what a bug chaser
So, like,
is.
feel free to correct me, but to my knowledge, it's someone who is actively trying to catch the virus from people.
Excuse me?
Yeah, and it never made any sense. I heard about it on television. I'm like, oh, that can't be a real thing. And within my first week of being in Australia, someone flat out told me they were a bug chaser. And my brain was like,
what?
And then it was like, oh, that thing from TV? And so... like,
I know of it. I can't comment too much about it because I also don't understand. The only comment I would make on that is a fetishization of something does not help to remove the stigma of something.
Totally.
Just like with racism.
Totally. It don't fix nothing, child.
But if you do get exposed or you think you've been exposed to HIV, you can actually get on something called PEP. So post-exposure prophylaxis. So a prophylactic drug or drug combination you take after exposure.
Okay.
So if you think that you've been exposed to HIV, you can go to the hospital. The earlier the better, but the recommended window is within 48 to 72 hours.
Interesting. It's
For
kind
the
of like
most-
Plan B.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Plan B.
For the highest
Interesting.
effectiveness,
Okay.
it's not 100%. Nothing's 100%, but it's sure as hell better than nothing.
Yeah,
absolutely,
man.
absolutely
Like
better
those
than
chances.
Earlier the better, but within 48 to 72 hours, you can go to the hospital, you can get assessed by a medical professional and get on PEP, which is a combination of antiretroviral drugs.
Okay.
And you're on it for a while and you go back for regular testing to see if you have HIV. but it greatly reduces your chances of getting HIV.
Interesting.
And is that medication you're on that for about 3 months?
I think so, a couple of months, yeah. And the reason why there's that window of 48 to 72 hours is because that's about the amount of time it takes for the virus to do 1 or 2 replication cycles.
Oh,
So you want to stop it before it starts
making copies of itself.
Making more and more copies of
Get into her Xerox era
Yeah.
and just making copies. That's pretty brilliant. I had no idea. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah,
I've heard of PrEP before, but I did not hear of PEP.
And so, great segue.
Oh, we did it. I wish I had a scooter just like right across the street. That's great. Sorry.
And another massive advancement, since some people call it epidemic, I prefer to call it a pandemic because it affects everywhere.
Yep.
Okay.
The PrEP stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis. So PEP is something you take post-exposure. PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis, and it's a combination of 2 antiretrovirals that you take daily or on demand. I can explain the difference later, but basically you take it when you don't have HIV, and it 99.9 whatever % reduces your chance of getting it even if you're exposed.
That's amazing.
So this is probably one of the most amazing developments, I think.
Incredible. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so most people will take PrEP daily, so it's a pill every day.
Yeah.
Some people take it on demand, where they take it before they know they're going to have a sexual encounter. So if they, don't have sex very often, or they can plan for it and don't want to deal with a pill every day or have side effects from taking it every day, that's something they can do. But one important thing to note is that if you have a vagina, on-demand PrEP is not recommended.
Interesting. Okay, and why is that?
And that's because the drug takes longer to build up to a protective concentration in the vaginal tissues to protect you from HIV. So
listen, the vagina be killing everything. She's like, I don't know who this is. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding.
So for anal protection, on-demand PrEP is fine. But if you have vaginal intercourse and you want to be protected, last I checked, on-demand PrEP is not recommended.
Okay.
But obviously this is something that you should discuss with your doctor.
Absolutely. Yeah. And all the information is just a recommendation. We're not telling you what to do with your life, but take the information, do your research, and also go to your doctor. The doctors are paid for this, and they know your body better than we do.
And building on this advancement, we'll backtrack a little bit. So at the start of the pandemic, there was no drugs. Then we had really horrible drugs with horrible side effects that weren't that effective. And then we have a cocktail of some insane amount of pills that you had to take every day to stay above the virus. That turned into a combination of you take 1 pill a day to keep the virus at bay.
Okay.
And now we have PrEP.
Okay.
And now we have long-acting injectables. So people don't have to take a pill every day. Imagine if you forget, if you have ADHD, you forget to take the pills every day. Or if you have to travel somewhere and you know that country doesn't have easy access to antiretrovirals.
Interesting.
Or a country where you definitely won't get access, or or if you lose your medication, that sort of thing. So now we have long-acting antiretrovirals where someone can get an injection every 2 months or every 6 months, depending on which drug they get. A couple have been approved in the US. I think one has been approved in Australia, and there's more coming. But that's also a really exciting development.
That is.
Yeah, imagine going from a handful of pills that you have to take every day, and now you get an injection once every 6 months and don't even think about it.
Yes, because that's what happens when you believe in science and you fund the research so they can make these developments.
And the next step for that is trying to get that as PrEP.
Okay.
So not to treat people with HIV, but also so that people on PrEP don't have to take or remember to take a pill every day.
Yeah.
And you get a shot every couple of months and don't have to worry about your HIV risk.
Oh my gosh. I would love for us to be sponsored by PrEP. I'm just putting it, putting it out into the...
Big Pharma?
Okay, I know. I get what that sounds like. I hear what it sounds like. But it's just amazing. The advancement is just unbelievable.
And now we have access to generics as well for the same drugs. So you don't have to pay the insane prices of some
Oh my gosh, I know.
infamous brand name drugs.
We're not name dropping them. We're just going to leave that alone.
And it's covered on the PBS in Australia. So people with a healthcare card can get it for real cheap.
I got time for like $40.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. See, it's amazing what can be done, even if the horrors are still persisting nowadays, but there are some really beautiful advancements out there.
Yeah.
And when you're taking that, be sure to still be getting tested, because I do know some queer people who use that as like, oh, I won't get tested anymore, I won't use condoms. There's still so many STIs you're not protected from, and like I know there's also doxycycline that helps with that.
Yeah.
But you still should be getting tested regularly because nothing is 100% effective.
Yeah. An important thing to highlight is that these antiretrovirals, so PEP, PrEP, PrEP only protects you from HIV. It doesn't protect you from any other STI.
Yeah, interesting.
And yes, get regularly tested.
Get regularly tested. That's another thing that I wish we could reduce the stigma around that, because some people are just like, well, if I go get tested, then I must be dirty or something like that.
I would love to encourage people, I try to encourage it in my circles as well, just to talk more about sexual health or to destigmatize if someone does get something. You know, normalize contact tracing. Like what we did for COVID, if you test positive for COVID, I think it's good manners to tell everyone that
you've interacted with.
100%, yeah.
You know, just watch out, go get tested.
Yeah.
Contact tracing is so important. There should be no shame in it.
No.
It should just be, hey.
That's community work as well, if we're being honest. You're like, oh, hey, this thing happened. Just heads up, because you could be stopping the spread of the infection. Like COVID, one person goes to a party sick and then everybody's sick.
Yeah.
So it's a probability thing. You're not bad, you're not dirty. Also, the clean stigma. Like that's one of the things we keep having to fight, because saying, oh, I'm clean instead of I'm STI free is like is so negative to the stereotype as
well. And if
well.
it wasn't clear, using the word clean to mean STI free is stigmatizing, because you imply that someone who has an STI is dirty.
Yes, when viruses are a very normal part of the human condition. We encounter viruses, like it's just a part, it's something that we are just going to come in contact with, whether that's something like HIV or something else, like the rhinovirus. You're not asking for these things. You're not asking for these things, but you can come about it. So we need to remove this good person, bad person kind
of no moral judgment
binary
about someone based on their status or based on what STI they have, because you never know how they got it.
Yes,
they
exactly.
Might not know how they've got
exactly.
It. Two, it doesn't matter how they got it.
It doesn't.
We shouldn't shame people for something they don't have control over. This is not. This is a health issue. You know, if you're sick, go get treatment.
Go get treatment, child.
Go get tested.
Go get tested, child. Maybe that's who should sponsor us.
Who?
The tested people. I know.
I was like trying to
the STI people. You know what I mean? Like it would be nice to do something.
Sponsor us, please.
Yes. I know.
Is there any bullet points that you like really want to add on?
I can talk about the progress on HIV cures.
Oh, yes.
Love to hear it.
So, obviously, we don't have a cure for HIV yet. Every now and again, you see a very exciting headline about, you know, we may have cured HIV.
Yes.
Most of them are sensationalist. Not to say that these studies are not important. A lot of these studies have very important findings that move us closer and closer to a cure. So, when talking about a cure for HIV, there's two different types, or two different categories. So, there's a sterilizing cure. So that's something where we completely remove HIV from the body. Say you recover from a cold, that virus is no longer in you.
Okay.
There's also something called a functional cure, where you may still have HIV in your system somewhere.
Okay.
And you're in remission, so you're not actively having to combat the virus, but either you have knocked it down so much or your immune system controls it that you don't have to be on antiretrovirals to control the infection, and you don't have to worry about the virus. So one way I like to think about it is something like herpes.
Yeah.
Most people who have herpes don't have to take medications every day. Their immune system takes care of it.
Yeah.
When you have no symptoms, you can live a healthy, normal life. So that's a functional cure. HIV may still be somewhere around, but it's either blocked or you don't have to be on daily treatment or something to worry about it. So some very exciting developments, things like CRISPR gene therapy.
CRISPR.
Yeah.
That's who should... No, sorry. Sponsor us, CRISPR.
Because that's one I sent you an article like that. Yeah, the post about, right?
So that made the headlines recently. That's very exciting. It's not a cure yet.
Yeah.
So what they've managed to do is cut out HIV from the genome.
Yeah.
So the reason why HIV is so difficult to cure, which I should have discussed earlier, is that it doesn't just infect your cell. It's a retrovirus, which means it can make a copy of its genetic code and insert itself into your DNA. So you can stop the virus from replicating all over the body, but it's still inside your genes, and that can reactivate the moment you stop taking your drugs, stop taking your meds. It gives the virus a chance to come back up again. And so really the only ways to get rid of it are to cut it out.
Okay.
So that's what CRISPR is trying to do, to destroy the cells that are harboring the virus.
Okay.
So that's what my lab was working on. And Another one is looking at ways to not cut it out, but genetically block it so it never reactivates again. So it might still be in your genome, but it never comes back
Like it
out.
isolates it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's something called lock and block.
Lock and block.
I like that one.
Interesting.
Or block and lock.
Block and lock it. Block and block it.
So what my lab was working on is trying to find ways to identify these cells that are harboring the virus, or
Okay.
when the virus wakes up, it starts replicating and it buds out of the cell. And when it starts budding out of the cell, it exposes those viral proteins on the surface. So similar to the COVID virus, you know how you have the spike protein?
Yeah.
HIV has the envelope protein. So that's the virus
Interesting.
protein that's exposed on the surface of the cell, and that gives us a chance to target that cell. So what my lab was looking at was what antibodies can we use to target different types of cells that may be harboring the virus, and how we can boost the immune response and kill those cells.
Unreal.
So the idea is that you'll take someone off the suppressive medication or put them on different medication, allow the virus to come back out, but give antibodies or train the immune system in such a way that it eliminates those cells as they pop back out.
Wow.
And clear the reservoir. That's one strategy of many.
Yeah.
CRISPR is a different one. We're borrowing a lot from the cancer field as well. So
Yeah.
a lot of these immunotherapies actually are borrowed ideas from cancer because it's a game of spot the difference. Because you have all these human cells that look almost identical, but
Yeah.
one of them is slightly wrong. So, like with cancer, it's a human cell that has gone awry.
Yep.
In HIV, it's otherwise healthy looking cell that is harboring a virus, and we're trying to spot the difference and kill that thing. So we actually borrow a lot from the cancer field, and moving on from that, COVID's actually borrowed a lot from the HIV field.
I believe that.
And so all this research into viruses, a lot of virology techniques, doesn't just benefit HIV research. It doesn't just benefit gay men. This research has so many potential other uses, like antibody therapy. Like where do those ideas come from? We borrow ideas in science, like a rising tide lifts all ships. You know?
Yeah.
This is research worth doing. Just because you can't see a direct benefit to you right now, it doesn't mean that it won't benefit us all.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
And just because we don't have a cure now doesn't mean we can't do anything. So we've talked
Correct.
about stigma. That's something that you can do now. You know,
Absolutely.
like have those conversations, help reduce the stigma. Don't contribute to the stigma.
Don't contribute to the stigma. Write that down.
So we have given a lot of information like in this time slot. Is there any resource that you recommend, whether it's on social media or news articles that are constantly like just talking about the updates or how things are going, or just information that we can shout out to people?
Yeah, so at least in Melbourne, I know, say, if you're looking more at treatment guidelines or just like sexual health information, the MSHC, or the Melbourne Sexual Health Centre website, has a lot of resources there. A lot of useful fact sheets that can educate you as well, and they will point you to other things. Good repositories to go to is like the WHO, UNAIDS.
Oh, the World Health Organization.
UNAIDS has a very handy fact sheet that they update every year with the most up-to-date HIV stats, and they also have other information in there. I'm sure more resources will come to mind, but those are the ones that come to mind right now.
Yeah.
But always check your sources. Don't just go off the media headlines, because headlines like to have catchy titles to get your attention, but it's
Yeah,
not
it's all
always
clickbait.
accurate. Yeah.
Kiki saying that's right.
Yeah.
Get your information from a reputable source, not somebody's brother
On
who
Facebook.
heard a thing.
It's like, and I read this post on Facebook that I made.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, get your information from a reputable source. And I just love what you just said about like, don't contribute to the stigma. Viruses is something that just happens as a part of the human condition. So stop thinking that because somebody has gotten this virus, they must be a bad person.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Kiki saying
It's
preach.
2025.
That's what she
Absolutely
said. It's 2025.
But
We
yeah,
need
no,
to
like,
get with it.
It is a lot of information to process, and I do think it's really important to have these conversations. And even people who are watching this episode after World AIDS Day, like, this is a conversation that can be happening at any time and should be happening consistently.
I know something that helps reduce your own internalized stigma as well is just education. A lot of the fear comes from ignorance, or when you don't understand something, you're afraid of it. Just do the work. The resources are out there. The information's widely available. Yeah.
That's my ministry right there.
Yeah.
Arm yourself with information. You can't be manipulated if you have the correct information.
Absolutely right. And this is very much just like a gateway for some people. Because some people will be embarrassed to not know something. So if this is the start of a conversation, because like many topics we have, it can go on for 6,000 years. There's so many different facets that are always changing.
It's not just relevant to HIV. It's any sexual health disease, get tested. Even if you're not gay, straights need to go get tested.
Yeah. Correct. Even if you've been married for a very, very long time. Even if, you're in a long-term relationship. It's better to have that information at hand and know where you're at. Because at least if you know, then you could do something about it.
Just because you don't have symptoms, it doesn't mean you don't have something.
Correct.
Period.
And life is just a big group project. Do your part.
Exactly.
Lean in.
It's less about shame and more taking responsibility for your own healthcare.
Accountability, sponsored by Accountability.
Do you have anything else you want to know?
I think I just said my blurb.
Yeah.
I said my blurb.
Amazing. Kira says it's over.
Yeah.
But
had enough.
Kira said, I've had enough.
Yep.
We're done with this. People not playing with me. But thank you so much for coming on. This is an incredible resource. Half the shit you were saying I had no idea about. I'm going to watch this back while editing and be like, write that down.
I'm glad I could share something.
Yeah,
of course.
And thank you so much for coming through, because we were worrying about if we were having heavy topics at the end of our season. But at the same time, we're doing our part to take care of our community by encouraging you to get the help, the treatment, the information that you need. So I actually feel very hopeful after this conversation, because you brought us information that I wasn't even aware of. So thank you so much for bringing your expertise.
Don't just take my word for it. Fact check me, Information changes. Science comes up with new discoveries all the time. Who knows, by the time when it gets to World AIDS Day, we might have a new advancement.
I would love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, and everyone take care of themselves. But until next time, I'm Ri'chard.
I'm Nicole.
And this has been Melanated in Melbourne.
See ya! Bye! Say bye, Kiki!
This has been Melanated in Melbourne, a podcast that analyzes the Australian lifestyle from the lens of two Black American besties. Visit us at melanatedinmelbourne.com or follow us on Instagram to send us your comments or questions. Thank you for listening.